Communicating with other people. One person, 20,000. There are a few things that will always be constant in how you communicate with someone else, how you get your knowledge from you to them and whatever you're talking about. And I've talked with a few of you this week and covered a couple of these, and I thought this would be a good time to just have a discussion, because sometimes it's easier. I know for me, it's easier that I learn auditory. I just talking with someone, I learn more of that than I do sitting trying to really go line by line. If you learn line by line, which is perfectly fine, you take notes here, especially if some of this is new to you. Some of it you may have already heard me discuss, but I think these are important to hit. Real quick, a little bit of house cleaning. I've only got 2 slots left for career coaching, broadcast coaching, and then I'm going to shut that down and start working with the students which I have. And I want everybody to know that I've still got the 2 slots left. I had 3. One of those is filled up, so I've got 2 more. And if you are interested and you want to have a discussion about it, contact me, direct message me. You can email me, mark@speakingwithmark.com, and we can have a Zoom call and see if it would be a good fit for you. So that being said, I do want to cover these few topics here and just hit these and take them home again. One thing that you've got to learn to do, if you haven't done it already, is start focusing on becoming more assertive. If you are pessimistic, you're more reserved, you're somebody that's afraid to step out there, we've got to get you past that. And a lot of times, if you can get your mindset wrapped around the fact that you're important, every one of us has knowledge of something. So if you're speaking to someone, if you're speaking to a customer, if you're speaking to a colleague, you're important because you have knowledge, and you have knowledge that you can share with them. Even if they know some of it, you have knowledge that nobody else does in many cases. So if you can become a little more assertive in your approach, I don't mean necessarily be demonstrative in how you speak to somebody, but be confident. Be a little more assertive instead of being reserved. That is what helps get people engaged. That helps to get people focused on what you're saying. If you're much more confident, that makes a big difference. So assertiveness doesn't mean being aggressive, but it means being confident and being able to get that point across. You've got to know what your vision is, your goal, where you're headed. I always say stay in your lane. That's a pretty common comment and saying for a lot of people, but when it comes to communicating with people, you need to be in a lane, because you're going straight to your person that you're talking to or your audience. So stay with your vision on your lane and have your goal where you want to go. What do you want these people to know when you're done talking to them? What do you want to share with them? What is the goal? When they leave and they're home later in the evening, they think about what you talked about. What is it you want them to have go through their mind? Also, be consistent. That's something that's really important. You've got to have a consistency where you're not all over the place. You don't want to start talking about one thing and then end up over here, get sidetracked. Oh, and this story I've got to tell. Back on the lane. Stay in your lane. Be consistent with the information you have. Part of that is just being engaged with someone. That consistency pays off. The last thing I do want to hit, and this is something that I think is really important. Out of the 4 of these, you are changing who you are to become better at what you do. Whether it's speaking, whether it's your job, your career, you have got to brand who you are, market who you are. These are things that I was taught early on. If you don't do it well, then you lose out. Are you going to be perfect at it in the beginning? No, you're not. But being able to brand yourself, stand out a little bit more, your messaging, what is it? What is your message that you're trying to get across? What makes you different? What makes you stand out? Because, like I told you, every one of us is different. Every one of us has knowledge. Every one of us is important. So focus on what your messaging is and what does it mean for your customer or your colleague that you're talking to. You've got to have a brand that really stands out and people go, I want to work with this person. I trust this person. I feel comfortable talking to this person. Brand yourself as somebody that is a great friend. Brand yourself as somebody that knows all about what these people need to hear about. I know that may sound a little strange to say, but if you can picture in your mind, how would you want somebody to speak to you? What type of person would you want speaking to you? When you get knowledge and you learn from someone, what is it they do? I bet money that they are good and assertive. They're confident when they're talking to you. I bet they have visions and goals. They're consistent with what they say. And you brand them in your mind as being somebody that you can learn from. That's what we want with you. We want you to be excellent at what you do and not have to think about it, not have to go, am I covering this? Am I covering this? Am I covering this? You should have that in your mind. It should be subconscious. And by rehearsing, by practicing, by going over your material before you talk to somebody, huge. That's a big deal. I've done it so many times. I do it on a regular basis. Even though I've done this for years, going over material before you communicate is key. I mean, we're communicating. You got to know what you're communicating about, what lane you're going to be in, the road you're on, the knowledge you're sharing. Hit that goal, hit your target, and communicate in a way that people remember what you have to say. So while these are very common, you hear me talk about them a lot, they are the basis, like cornerstones or foundation, some of them for communicating well. Remember, these are things that you can conquer and you can master. Anybody can do this. It's just a matter of getting your mindset in a place that's positive, you're confident, and you enjoy doing this. You may not enjoy it right now, especially if you haven't done it before, but we're going to get you there.